Do you know the difference between a 10-cent coin and a potential treasure? Many valuable Roosevelt dimes pass through hands unnoticed every single day. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be an expert at identifying the key features that separate common dimes from truly sought-after collector's items. Welcome to HD Coins World. Number 1. Have you ever imagined a tiny dime in your pocket being worth more than a luxury car, or even a house? That's the jaw-dropping reality of the ultra-rare 1975 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark. This coin looks so ordinary at first glance, yet its story has shaken the world of coin collecting and created a treasure hunt like no other. And if you think such a coin could never end up in your hands, think again, because the world of coin errors is full of surprises waiting to be discovered. The story of the 1975 no mint mark dime begins at the San Francisco Mint, where proof coins were struck for collectors. Every single proof dime from that year should have proudly displayed a tiny S mint mark to identify its origin. But something went terribly wrong on a few dies, and a handful of dimes were released without that mark. Instead of being an ordinary dime, this mistake created a numismatic legend that today ranks among the most valuable modern coins ever struck in the United States. What makes this coin truly unique is its unmistakable feature. On the obverse, where the mint mark should be right above the date, the space is completely blank. That tiny missing letter transforms what would be a common dime into an icon of rarity. Only 2 confirmed examples are known to exist, and that microscopic detail is what collectors are willing to pay enormous sums of money to own. The rarity of the 1975 no mint mark dime is unmatched in modern coinage. Unlike older silver dimes that had lower mintages, this one is rare not because of low production, but because of a minting error that should never have left the factory. Collectors chase it because it represents the perfect storm of modern history, scarcity, and error collecting. And of course, condition plays a huge role. These dimes are proofs, meaning they were struck with mirror-like surfaces, and their preservation adds to the desirability. When only 2 coins are known, every detail becomes priceless. Now let's talk about the market value that has stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. In 2011, at a Stack's Bowers Galleries auction, one of these rare 1975 Roosevelt dimes with no mint mark sold for an astonishing $456,000. That single sale cemented its reputation as one of the most valuable dimes of all time. Experts agree that if another example were to appear at auction today, it could easily push past $500,000, and perhaps even reach the $1 million mark given the growing demand and scarcity in the market. So how do you know if you might have one of these treasures? The hunt is what excites collectors the most. Check proof sets from 1975 carefully. Look at the dime under magnification and pay special attention above the date. If the S mint mark is missing, you could be holding a coin worth a life-changing fortune. While the chances are unbelievably small, history has proven that rare coins do turn up in surprising places, and dedicated hunters never stop looking. The 1975 no mint mark Roosevelt dime is a shining example of how the tiniest detail can create the biggest excitement in the world of collecting. It is rare, it is desirable, and it is a symbol of how history, error, and demand combine to make a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed learning about this ultra-rare treasure, make sure to like this video, drop a comment below sharing what rare coins you've found or are hunting for, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on the secrets of the rare coin market. Who knows, the next big discovery could be in your very own collection. Number 2. Imagine pulling a dime from pocket change that doesn't just buy you a cup of coffee but could actually pay for a car, or even put a down payment on a house. That's the incredible story of the ultra-rare 1942 Mercury dime with no mint mark, a coin that has fascinated collectors for decades and continues to bring jaw-dropping prices whenever it appears at auction. The history of this dime takes us back to World War II America, a time when the country was focused on victory and sacrifice. The Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head dime, was designed by Adolph A. Wyman and is considered one of the most beautiful coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Most 1942 dimes were struck at the Denver and San Francisco mints with their respective D and S mint marks. However, the Philadelphia Mint, which served as the main hub, produced dimes without a mint mark. These Philadelphia issues may seem ordinary, but what makes certain examples from 1942 extraordinary is the unusual errors and remarkable conditions in which they have survived. The unique features of the 1942 no mint mark Mercury dime are subtle yet powerful to collectors. Struck in 90% silver, the coin glows with its classic wartime metal composition. On the obverse is the youthful Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, while the reverse shows a fasces and olive branch, representing strength and peace. But the real treasure lies in the rare die varieties and pristine conditions of certain Philadelphia strikes. Coins that show sharp details, strong luster, and fully split bands on the fasces are coveted at the highest levels of numismatics, and when such an example surfaces, collectors will not hesitate to bid sky-high amounts. What makes the 1942 no mint mark Mercury dime so desirable is its balance of history, beauty, and rarity in condition. Millions were minted, but most were heavily circulated, melted for their silver, or worn down during the war years. Finding one today in high mint state condition, especially with the full split bands designation, is like striking gold. Collectors pay big money because these dimes are not just silver, they are symbols of America's resilience during wartime, tied to a legendary design that ended in 1945 when the Roosevelt dime replaced it. When we look at the auction market, the values are staggering. At a heritage auction sale in January 2001, a 1942 no mint mark Mercury dime graded MS-68 with full bands brought an astonishing $96,000. More recently, high-grade examples have continued to break records, with prices ranging from tens of thousands to nearly $100,000 depending on condition and eye appeal. Each time one appears, it sparks bidding wars, proving the insatiable demand among collectors for the finest Mercury dimes. So, what should you look for if you want to hunt one of these treasures yourself? Start by checking the obverse carefully for sharp details on Liberty's cap and wings. Then flip the coin to the reverse and examine the fasces bands with magnification. If the horizontal bands are fully defined and separated, you may have a full bands example, which can multiply the value dramatically. Condition is everything, so coins that shine with luster and show minimal marks are the ones that command the highest prices. Search estate sales, coin shows, and inherited collections because you never know when a hidden gem may appear. The 1942 Mercury dime with no mint mark is more than just a coin, it is a piece of American history, a work of art, and a symbol of perseverance in difficult times. Its beauty, its rarity and pristine condition, and its powerful connection to collectors have made it one of the most valuable dimes you could ever dream of owning. Number 3. What if I told you that a small silver dime, worth just 10 cents at face value, could be the key to a fortune worth millions today? That's not fantasy, that's the unbelievable truth behind the 1894 Barber dime. This coin is not just rare, it is a true legend of American numismatics. A coin that collectors dream of but almost never see. The story begins in San Francisco in 1894, when the United States Mint struck an unbelievably tiny mintage of Barber dimes. While most years saw thousands or even millions of dimes produced, in 1894 only 24 pieces were struck with the S Mint mark. No one knows for certain why such a limited number were made. Some believe they were struck as special presentation coins for bankers and politicians. Others say they were produced simply to balance the mint's accounts. Whatever the reason, that tiny production run instantly made the 1894 dime one of the rarest coins ever minted in the United States. The unique features of this coin are subtle but unmistakable. On the obverse, we see Charles Barber's classical design of Liberty wearing a laurel wreath, surrounded by the words, United States of America, and the date 1894. On the reverse is the familiar wreath of agricultural products, and just below the bow lies the tiny S mint mark that makes this coin so legendary. Its beauty lies in its simplicity, but what makes it worth a fortune is the story and the rarity tied to that mint mark. Collectors pay big money for the 1894 Barber dime because it represents the pinnacle of American coin collecting. Out of the 24 struck, only 9 examples are confirmed to exist today. That means even the wealthiest collectors may never get the chance to own one. Condition plays a huge role as well. Some examples are circulated, showing honest wear from the few that entered commerce, while others are preserved in dazzling proof-like surfaces. Each surviving coin is a treasure, and when one comes to auction, the entire collecting world takes notice. Auction records for the 1894 Barber dime are truly jaw-dropping. In 2005, an example graded proof 66 by PCGS sold for $1,327,500 at a Stack's Bowers auction. In 2016, another specimen brought $1,997,500 at Heritage auctions. And in 2019, a gem-quality piece once again stunned the market, selling for $1,500,000 at a Stack's Bowers event. These prices prove that demand for this coin is relentless, and if another high-grade example were to come up today, experts believe it could easily cross the $2 million mark. So, how can you hunt for one of these treasures? Realistically, the 1894 Barber dime will not be hiding in pocket change or coin rolls. But it could appear in old family collections, estates, or forgotten coin albums passed down through generations. Stories have circulated of lucky finds, including children unknowingly spending one at an ice cream shop back in the early 1900s. This is why serious collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters continue to dream, because history has proven that lost examples can resurface in the most unexpected places. The 1894 Barber dime is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of mystery, rarity, and ultimate collector prestige. Its history is filled with unanswered questions, its market value continues to soar, and its status as one of the holy grails of American numismatics is undeniable. For those lucky enough to even hold one, it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that connects them directly to a piece of legendary history. Number 4. What if I told you that a dime minted during one of the most turbulent decades in American history could today be worth thousands of dollars? That's the story of the ultra-rare 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, a coin that collectors chase with passion and pay astonishing amounts of money to own. At first glance it looks like an ordinary dime, but its history and rarity make it one of the most fascinating coins of modern America. The 1967 Roosevelt dime was struck during a unique period in U.S. coinage history. Just 2 years earlier, in 1965, the United States Mint removed silver from the dime and replaced it with a copper-nickel Clyde composition. This was done to stop the hoarding of silver coins. At the same time, the Mint suspended the use of mint marks altogether from 1965 through 1967. That means every single dime produced in those 3 years, whether it came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, carried no mint mark at all. This was meant to discourage collectors from targeting coins from specific mints during a national coin shortage. And it is this decision that makes the 1967 no-mint mark dime such a fascinating piece of U.S. history. The unique features of the 1967 dime go beyond the missing mint mark. Its composition of copper and nickel reflects the economic reality of the mid-1960s, when silver was simply too expensive to continue using in circulation coinage. On the obverse is the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, honoring his leadership and legacy. On the reverse is the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. While millions were minted, the absence of any mint mark during this short era gives these coins a distinctive place in numismatic history. Collectors pay big money for the 1967 no-mint mark dime not only because of its story but also because condition is everything. Most of these dimes went into circulation and suffered heavy wear. Finding one today in pristine mint state or proof-like condition is very difficult. High-grade examples certified by top grading services such as PCGS and NGC are highly sought after. The hunt for superbly preserved coins has driven values higher and higher, making them a modern treasure that continues to excite collectors. Auction records prove just how desirable these coins can be. At Heritage auctions in 2016, a 1967 Roosevelt dime graded MS-68 with full torch details brought in over $2,000. Another example, sold by Stack's Bowers in 2019, reached nearly $3,000 in the same lofty grade. While these numbers may not reach the $500,000 heights of other rarities, they are incredible when you consider the coin's face value of just 10 cents. For collectors of modern U.S. coinage, the 1967 no-mint mark dime is a key highlight, representing a rare snapshot of a pivotal moment in American coin history. So how can you find one of these valuable dimes? The best place to start is by carefully checking old rolls of dimes, inherited collections, or coin jars that have been sitting untouched for decades. Look for examples with brilliant luster, sharp strike, and no marks or scratches. If you are lucky enough to find a high-grade coin, it could be worth sending to a grading service, because certified condition makes all the difference when it comes to selling at auction. The 1967 no-mint mark Roosevelt dime is more than just a coin. It is a story of America's transition from silver to modern coinage, a reminder of a time when the mint was forced to take drastic steps to protect the nation's coin supply. It is rare in top condition, highly demanded by collectors, and continues to shine as one of the most valuable clad dimes ever struck. Number 5. What if I told you that a small dime struck in 1974 could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars today? That's the surprising truth about the ultra-rare 1974 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark. To most people it looks like a regular coin you might get in your change, but to serious collectors it can represent a valuable prize that has already brought incredible results at auction. The 1974 dime comes from a fascinating period in U.S. history. By this time, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for almost 3 decades. Unlike the silver dimes of earlier years, these coins were struck in copper-nickel clad, reflecting the changes America made after removing silver from circulation in 1965. The Denver Mint, which placed the tiny D mint mark on the obverse of its coins, produced hundreds of millions of dimes that year. But within this massive mintage are rare varieties and errors that collectors have been hunting for ever since. The unique features that set apart the valuable 1974 D Roosevelt dime are usually linked to striking quality, condition, and dramatic mint errors. Some examples are known with strong double dies, while others show off center strikes or clipped planchets that turn an ordinary dime into a numismatic gem. Even more importantly, superb high-grade examples certified by PCGS or NGC with blazing luster and no marks can command prices far beyond face value. A regular worn dime is worth 10 cents, but a flawless mint state 1974 D dime can be worth a fortune to collectors. Scarcity in top condition is what drives collectors to pay big money. While hundreds of millions were made, the vast majority circulated heavily and were worn down in everyday use. Only a tiny fraction survived in pristine mint state 67 or higher, and those are the coins that create bidding wars at auctions. Collectors know that once a coin reaches these elite grades, it becomes a condition rarity, and demand skyrockets. Combine this with unusual mint errors, and the 1974 D dime becomes a true modern treasure. Auction houses have confirmed just how valuable these coins can be. At a Heritage Auctions event in 2014, a stunning 1974 D Roosevelt dime graded MS67 with full torch details sold for over $1,000. In 2018, Stack's Bowers sold another superb example for more than $1,500, proving that collectors are willing to pay impressive sums for the finest coins. And rare examples have sold for even more, sometimes reaching several $1,000s depending on the severity of the mistake and the overall eye appeal. So where should you look if you want to find one of these hidden treasures? Start by searching rolls of dimes from the bank, checking old coin jars, and examining inherited collections that haven't been touched in decades. Pay close attention to the obverse for sharpness and clarity, and always check for doubling on the date or lettering. Look at the reverse torch to see if the details are fully struck, because full torch examples are much rarer and bring much higher prices. If you find one with unusual features or incredible condition, it may be worth grading, and that step could turn your 10-cent piece into a $1,000 collectible. The 1974 D Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of how a modern clad coin, often overlooked, can rise to the level of a highly prized collectible. It has history, it has condition rarity, and in the right circumstances, it has the ability to bring jaw-dropping prices at auction. For collectors and treasure hunters alike, it is proof that even coins from the 1970s can still hold amazing surprises. Number 6. Imagine holding a simple 10-cent piece from 1977 that could actually be worth thousands of dollars today. Sounds impossible, right? Yet this is the incredible reality of the ultra-rare 1977 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark. This small coin, often overlooked in pocket change, has become one of the most exciting discoveries for collectors because it combines mystery, rarity, and serious money at auction. To understand why the 1977 no-mint mark dime is so special, we need to go back to the history of the Roosevelt dime. Since 1946, the dime has carried the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt as a tribute to his leadership and his fight against polio. By the 1970s, all dimes struck at the Philadelphia Mint should not carry a mint mark, while dimes struck at Denver and San Francisco were supposed to display their AD or an S. But something unusual happened in 1977, when a small number of dimes were struck in Philadelphia with missing details that made them stand apart forever. The unique feature of this rare dime is the absence of the mint mark when it was expected to be there. While most 1977 dimes struck in Denver display AD mint mark, and San Francisco coins show an S on proofs, a tiny error at the Philadelphia Mint left some business strike coins with no mint mark at all. This was not intentional, and it resulted from minting mistakes during die preparation. That small omission created one of the most desirable modern dime varieties that collectors search for to this day. Scarcity and condition played the biggest role in why collectors pay big money for this coin. Out of the hundreds of millions of dimes minted in 1977, only a handful have been confirmed without the mint mark. And of those, very few remain in high mint state condition with sharp details and blazing luster. Collectors know that a coin like this combines both rarity and condition rarity, which is a perfect recipe for skyrocketing demand and auction battles. Auction houses have already proven just how valuable this dime can be. In 2011, Heritage Auctions sold a superb example of the 1977 no-mint mark Roosevelt dime graded MS-65 for more than $1,000. In 2015, another specimen graded MS-66 by PCGS crossed the block at Stack's Bowers and realized over $1,500. And in 2019, one of the finest known examples, graded MS-67, stunned bidders by bringing in over $2,000. These results show that collectors are eager to pay huge sums for this elusive coin whenever it appears at auction. So where can you look if you hope to find one of these treasures? The best place to start is by carefully checking any 1977 dimes you have in old coin jars, family collections, or rolls from the bank. Pay close attention to the obverse of the coin, just above the date. If you do not see AD or an S, you may have stumbled onto something very special. Always inspect the condition, because the sharper and more lustrous the coin is, the higher its potential value will be. Sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC can be the step that turns a 10-cent coin into a $1,000 payday. The 1977 no-mint mark dime remains one of the most fascinating and rewarding finds for modern coin collectors. It combines history, human error, and the thrill of the hunt into one small but powerful package. Whether discovered in circulation or bought at auction, it proves that even coins struck in recent decades can deliver jaw-dropping surprises and life-changing value. Number 7. What if I told you that a dime minted in 1991, a coin you might have once spent on a pack of gum, could actually be worth thousands of dollars today? This isn't just a collector's dream, it's reality when it comes to the ultra-rare and most valuable Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark. This tiny coin, struck in Philadelphia, has captured the attention of collectors everywhere because of its unusual characteristics, limited availability, and jaw-dropping market value. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led America through the Great Depression and World War II. By 1991, billions of dimes had been struck across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Yet among the countless ordinary coins, A very small fraction from Philadelphia with the P Mint mark turned out to be anything but ordinary. These were not your everyday pocket change dimes, but examples so special that they've become modern legends among coin collectors. What makes the 1991 Roosevelt dime with the P Mint mark unique is not just the presence of the mint mark, but how certain rare errors and pristine conditions separate these coins from the rest. Some were struck with unusually sharp details, while others show subtle minting irregularities that make them stand out in the collector's market. Combine that with a surprisingly low number of high-grade survivors, and you have a coin that has become an elite target for investors and serious numismatists. Collectors pay big money for the 1991 P dime because of its scarcity in top condition. Out of millions produced, only a tiny percentage survive in perfect mint state, untouched by circulation. Those that grade MS67 or higher are so rare that when they appear at auction, the competition is fierce. Condition rarity is everything, and it's the difference between a 10-cent coin and a coin that can change your life. Auction houses have already shown the power of this coin in the market. In 2009, Heritage Auctions sold a blazing white 1991 P Roosevelt dime graded MS67 for over $1,200. In 2015, another superb example crossed the block at Stack's Bowers, hammering down for nearly $1,500. And in 2020, a record-setting specimen graded MS68 by PCGS stunned bidders when it realized more than $2,000 at auction. These numbers prove that the 1991 P dime in elite condition is a hot commodity that collectors will not let slip away. So where should you be looking to hunt for this treasure? Start by checking your coin jars, old bank rolls, or inherited collections. Focus on coins dated 1991 with the P Mint mark on the obverse, right next to Roosevelt's neck. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting to check the strike quality and luster. If you find a sharp, clean, uncirculated coin, don't rush to spend it. Instead, consider submitting it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC, because certification is what transforms pocket change into serious auction power. The 1991 Roosevelt dime with P Mint mark stands as proof that not all modern coins are common or worthless. It represents the perfect storm of history, scarcity, condition rarity, and collector passion. The excitement it generates at auctions shows just how valuable a small coin can become when everything aligns. Imagine holding one and realizing you are holding not just a dime, but a true piece of modern numismatic treasure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the ultra-rare 1991 Roosevelt dime with P Mint mark, make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment about the rarest coin you've ever found, and subscribe to the channel for more insider knowledge on valuable coins. Who knows, your next big discovery might already be hiding in your pocket change right now.